All right, I am now here with the busiest man in showbiz. I start every interview off I do with Aaron Rapoport saying the same thing because he actually is the busiest man when it comes to showbiz in the NFL, and this is one of the busiest times of the year here in Indianapolis. NFL Combine 2023. We heard Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah talk today. Kevin O'Connell talks tomorrow. But just from the pulse of what you were hearing about this Minnesota Vikings team, what stands out to you?
I mean, to me, the biggest thing, and we could talk about, players and contracts, and there's a lot to get to, I know. The biggest thing for this coming season is what's going to happen on defense. Right? I got a chance to speak with Brian Flores a little bit last night. I know he is incredibly excited about joining this team, helping fix this defense, helping instill the mentality on defense that he's, had in every unit he's coached. He is a very, very, very good coach, and of all the players that'll be brought in, and I could see the Vikings doing some things in the free agency, maybe nothing crazy, but doing some things to help out on defense. I'm not sure any of them are as important as who's calling the shots and who's pulling the strings. That was a great hire, and I think something that will really benefit them.
How do you think the Brian Flores hire for defense coordinator affects what the Vikings do in the draft this year? Understanding that, you are at 23, defense is a priority, but we have a guy that knows how to get the best out of his players.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it matters because when you're at 23, and on one hand, you got to wait a long time to pick. On the other hand, that's what you want, right? So usually you get to this point, and it's like, I'm just going to take the best player available. And I would imagine that's what the Vikings do. Or do what they've done at other times, which is just trade back and load up. Make sure you get just a lot of really good players instead of one great player. And, the teams that have done that well and turn those extra picks into, real value, like I think that's something that can benefit the team. I know, for Kwesi, a lot of the, I think he has a really keen eye for value and how to turn a little bit into more. I wouldn't be surprised to see that come draft time as well.
Understanding that, right, where Kwesi coming into year 2 as a GM. Last year, I talked to him earlier. Last year, coming into this building, his eyes were so bright. He was looking at this is what happens.
Right.
Understanding now that he only has 4 picks, maybe a compensatory with the Tyler Conklin with the success he had with the Jets. How do you measure success for him this year in the draft?
It's just, does the team get better?
Okay.
And the problem with the draft, and I love the draft so much, I think it's my favorite thing we do, but we're never going to know. The Vikings 3 years ago picked an offensive tackle that had just coming off groin surgery that I think most people were like, yeah, he's pretty good. And now he might be the next Trent Williams.
Right.
In the draft, you really don't know. So, stack the board, make the best picks you can, maybe trade back to get some more picks and kind of collect some of that, but to me, unfortunately, you're probably not going to know for some time what it all amounts to.
And the thing about that is the last time the Vikings did select 23rd overall, it was Christian Darrisaw. So to your point, there is actual, talent and skill in a game-changing player at 23.
Sure. And
you know this. You've covered this thing for a while. How do you get to understand what that player or what that person can be just during this early portion of the process?
Yeah, I mean, we focus on the drills, and the drills will be on TV, and that's fun, and I love it. I love the combine. But I think for the coaches and the evaluators like Kwesi, the most important thing is what kind of people are they? What are the meetings like? Are they themselves? Are they, scripted? How real are they? What do you uncover on their background? Like, what else is there?
Yeah.
And I think, that's probably the most important thing is get to know them as people and how comfortable you, like, if you're going to bring that guy in your building.
Yeah.
Is he someone who's going to lead? Is he going to be a problem? There's a lot of stuff that you have to figure out, and that's why the combine, I think, is so important.
My last question for you, Kirk Cousins. That is the number one talking point. Do you extend him? Do you keep him around for his last year? What decision do you think the Vikings will go with, and how does that affect the long-term success for this team?
Yeah, I mean, I could see, another short-term extension. He's done several of them. Obviously his agent, Mike McCartney, and the Vikings have worked together on several deals. I would expect they're able to do it again. He is not someone who's taken a really, truly long-term deal. He's been very comfortable betting on himself. Wouldn't be surprised if he does that again, and see what happens going forward.
Yeah, that's the big question for the Minnesota Vikings this offseason is what do you do with Kirk and how does that affect this entire team? But the fact that we were a 13-win team, I think that's where you start. So, Ian, appreciate your time today.
Thank you, man.